There's more than one side to every story, and the story of Kilmarnock is like all the rest. Kilmarnock has its hard time stories. It also has its great stories. These are important, but they're not for today. Here is an ordinary story of an ordinary town, heard through the lives of some extraordinary people. People who have travelled the extra mile for others and are testament to those who have done the same for them. People who know Kilmarnock as a place where they are proud to work and call their home. This is the story of our town, told by our people, the story of one ordinary day in Kilmarnock.
My name is Dorothy Hunt, and I'm the chairperson of the Lighthouse Foundation. And I came into this organisation a long time ago when it was first started by a friend and colleague who had had two daughters addicted. We met initially at the Crosshouse Hospital, and we met once a fortnight. And there was suddenly a great sense of relief, having had a son with an addiction problem, to meet other people in the same boat and realise that together we could start to do something about it. And that's how the Lighthouse Foundation was formed. The You Are Not Alone syndrome came in, and that is a well worthwhile thing. And having worked in cancer care as well and this kind of thing, it is always helpful to meet people with the same problem who can share their problems and talk about it with an understanding. I think I've lived my life through this pretty well. I ran a nursery school years ago. I worked for cancer care a long time ago. I worked on HIV and AIDS for a long time with the health board. When a big problem crops up, I get a feeling of being pushed into doing something about it, and this is what happened here.
My meringues are fairly well known now, because there's a lot of people who have eaten them over time, and you know, there's almost a little ministry of meringues in our church, because some people come and say, could I have some today, Jean, to take to? And they go visiting, and instead of just with a bunch of flowers, they go with a little package of meringues, and they tell me who it's for. And I think, oh, I'm really sad that she doesn't manage to church now, but it's just lovely that she can have some meringues in her own house, and the people taking them take the time to sit and have a chat with her. My neighbour is a great supporter of me. She'll bring me tapes, teaching tapes, and about Christianity. It was on one of her tapes that I first heard somebody saying about our churches not being generous of spirit, and that why was it in our churches that it was always the cheapest biscuits and the cheapest plastic cups and the least you could do. And that changed my whole attitude, and I thought it's not to be the least, it's to be the best. So it ended up that we got a team together. It's by no means just my baking, it's everyone's baking, but we got a team together, we started, we tried it, people liked it, and somehow it just grew from there. So we end up on a Sunday with some goodies for eating.
I worked really hard. I was a very mature student, and I worked really hard to get the job I originally wanted, and that was meant to be a teaching job, and I never went into it, but I worked really hard, and I knew how much I got out of my job once I had actually got it. Do you know what I mean? Because before that I worked in a factory and then it didn't work, so I knew what it meant to me to actually get my job. And I worked with single parents when I was up in Glasgow, and I knew the ones that I worked with and how much they got out of having a job and being helped into, because it wasn't easy finding money for childcare and coming across all the barriers. So to work with people with disabilities that has never had that opportunity just blew me away. And I can work with about 30 employers, and it's a no, 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 no. In some weeks you're kind of, oh my God, why did I do this work? And then you get the one yes, and that makes all the difference. I mean, when I go out and I see some of the people that we support working and how proud they are of working, and it could be an hour a week, do you know what I mean? And it makes it worthwhile. It really does make it worthwhile.
I do lots of things in my week, and one of them is that I'm one of the 600 volunteers who supports Crosshouse Hospital, our local hospital. Now 600 is a fair number of people from just around and about, but all willing to give their time and just to be supportive of the patients there. I asked Jean how much money the volunteers raised. Now they man the tea bar and the shop and the trolley round the wards, and as I said, a big group of them. And do you know that they raise nearly £25,000 every week that goes into the funds to just be given back to the hospital?
I worked for the council for 12 years, and Alan and I retired here to be near our family. And I went to an agency to work to see what I wanted to do and get a feel for Kilmarnock. But one thing that I was sure that I wanted to do was to work somewhere that made a difference to the community. So I went to a few agency jobs, and they were nice enough, but it didn't feel as if they made a difference. And I saw this one advertised, and by reading the remit for it, I thought, oh yeah, I would love to be part of that. So I came in, it was 3 days a week. But the passion shone through in the support workers and the team leaders and the directors. And I love it. So I'm here now till I can't do it anymore. And I just love it, it's great.